What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to my channel today. Man, we have a lot to unpack today, man, but I'm just glad you guys are here with me today so we can discuss these topics and issues and go over this dialogue that really needs to be discussed more frequently within America. Um, yeah, I'm just going to dive into it today. I mean, Bad Bunny was elected to perform at the Super Bowl for this upcoming Super Bowl, and there was a lot of outrage in this country about, this Puerto Rican American being selected to perform at the Super Bowl, which is something I do not understand. Um, as a country that was built, you know, from the different cultures coming together, Native Americans, African Americans, Caucasian Americans, Mexican Americans, Asian Americans, all coming together in this melting pot to create a better and stronger nation. And here we are in 2025. Can you believe it? We're in 2025. And instead of growing closer as a nation, we're somehow separating, somehow dividing, somehow the fabric of this nation, instead of it being intertwined and woven together, is being torn apart. And this is something that we need to talk about, because no great civilization is conquered from the outside until it destroys itself from within. And we are now rewriting the foundation of this country. Our forefathers within this country were extremely intelligent people. The founding fathers of this nation were extremely intelligent people, and they had foresight and a vision for this nation. And within the Constitution and everything that they wrote out, it included a nation that would inevitably include more people from different walks of life, from different religions, different beliefs, different backgrounds, different races, different ethnicities. And they believed that one day we would all come together and live out the true creed and the true calling for this nation. And we've been doing a great job, you know. We've been doing a great job at, pulling ourselves together and creating a better society for all people. But it seems like these past couple of years, we've been headed in the wrong direction. We're erasing progress. And there's a couple of things I want to get right to. There is right and there is wrong. There's always been right and there's always been wrong. There is a fine line between right and wrong. Now, whenever that line starts to get shady, whenever the water begins to get muddy and you can't really see what's right and what's wrong, that's when you have a problem. And so when you look at somebody like Bad Bunny, who is not one of the biggest artists in America, he's one of the, if not the biggest artist on planet Earth. And the whole aim of the NFL for honestly this past decade has been globalization. How can we get football on a global scale? My wife is from England, and one of the first conversations I had with her was about football. And I was talking about football, and she didn't really have much of an idea. She was like, is that sport where people just run at each other? And I was like, yeah, something like that. I was like, we have a couple of superstars over here, and I began to name them. And to my surprise, she knew none of them. And I thought that, football was a global sport. And that's when I found out, wait, it isn't. Global is, when we're talking about every nation. So football is really a regional sport. And even in America, football has its hot spots. Football isn't big everywhere within America. Football is bigger in certain spots, but other sports are bigger in certain spots within America. So what the NFL is trying to do is globalize. So I thought it was a smart business idea, to say the least, that the NFL would go and get one of the biggest global artists to come perform for the Super Bowl. Now, even if this guy isn't American, which he is, he's Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rico is a territory of America. But let's say even if he wasn't American, our country should encompass and invite other people who are not from this nation, because the way America survives is we get the best talent not from America. We do have the best talent in America, but we get the best talent from India. We get the best talent from China, the best talent from um, England, the best talent from all of these countries outside of America. And the best talent then flows into our nation. And in turn, it makes our nation stronger. Now, if we can't get the best from the other countries because they don't feel as invited to come into our country, then we begin to fail as a nation. And that's what we don't want to happen. In this country, we have to be better. For one, we have to be better. We have to look at ourselves and say, is this the America that I envisioned for myself when I was a kid? Is this the America that I envisioned for my kid to grow up within? We should embrace other cultures, other people within this nation. And, we shouldn't forget that this nation is a nation that's built off of immigrants. Do not forget the history of this nation, because when we forget the history of this nation, then we begin to, feel bigger than we are. We begin to think that, hey, this is only my land and you can't be here. When it's not the case. I'm African American. My people have been here for, a couple centuries. But if I was to say to an African coming over here who didn't have the lineage or heritage of America, if I was to say to that person, hey, you're not American, then what would that make me? Who am I to tell them that, hey, you're not American? If they want to become an American, if they have taken the test to become an American and went through the process of becoming American, then we should accept them. And the same goes for any country around the world. Now, obviously, if we have people who are coming here and undoing the fabric of this nation, and that was the majority of the immigrants that were coming to this nation, then we should be alarmed. But statistics will show you that that's just not the case. Majority of the immigrants that come to this nation are legal immigrants who are looking to create a better life for themselves. And as an African American, I'm entitled to say these things because I was here before the inception of this nation. My forefathers were here before the inception of this nation. And I've seen through my bloodline the worst that this country has to offer. And I've been able to see the best of what this country has to offer. And this country only gets better if we all can come together, regardless of our race, color, ethnicity, our beliefs. If we can all come together and we can say, we're all Americans. We all want better for not only ourselves, but our children. If we can come together and all say that and say, we'll embrace other people, regardless of if they look different from us, then we'll be better. So when you hear things like somebody like Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, before you get offended or before you feel like he doesn't represent America, take a deep look at the history of this country and read a little bit to see where this country can head, and then take the time to evaluate not only the situation but yourself. And if you would want to be accepted, if you were in that situation, then you should accept the person who's in that situation. That's all I have for you guys today. A lot for you to think about, a lot for you to take in. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, and look forward to seeing you guys next time.